All right, guys, thank you for joining me for part two. Before we get started, I was going to show you, remember, we're going to be in our Fundations journal. The other day, we did some practice writing on this page right here. If you want to save space, you can just come right over here to this next page because this is just kind of like our practice notebook. So there's really no right or wrong way to start. If you can just come over here to this next page, and we're going to be writing some nonsense words. So let me explain what that means. So we've been deciphering some words. We deciphered the word, decipher means we tapped it out and read it. So the first one we did today was mat. Now mat is a real word. We can read that word. It is not a nonsense word. But the more we practice, we're going to be reading some bigger words, and you might see a syllable, which is like a chunk of the word, that by itself it's not a real word, but you're still going to have to know how to read it. For example, ish is not a real word. Okay, but we can still read it. We know I says I, sh says sh, ish. Now, what if I was to add this at the beginning of the word? That's a new word. Spanish. Spanish is a real word. Okay? So if you saw this word in a book and you didn't know what it says, you break it up into syllables or into chunks. Sp and ish. Spanish. So it's important for you to be able to read those nonsense words like ish to help you piece together bigger words so that you can read them. Okay, so let's do some practice. We're gonna start with a nonsense word. Okay, this is not a real word. You're not gonna see this word by itself anywhere, but we can still read it. Just because it's a nonsense word doesn't mean we can't read it. So we're gonna tap this out. We would say I, sh. SH we know is a digraph, so we're gonna mark that digraph. Okay, let's do another one. How would I read that word? Doesn't look like a word I've ever seen before, but does that mean I can't read it? No. If you were to tap it out, we would say x, gex. Let's do a few more. How would I read that word? Well, we know A says a, and TH is a, what do we call them? It's a digraph. So we're gonna mark that, and this would say th. You might see this in a word like athlete, someone who plays sports, is really athletic. Okay, so just because this word by itself is a nonsense word doesn't mean you won't see it in a word. So it's important that you know how to sound that out and to read it. All right, let's do another one. All right, so this one has a QU. We talked about this morning. So when we're reading this, we do not say qua, I, v. We know QU are buddies. They're always going to be together in a word. We just read this with the sound qua. Qua, iv. Quiv. Let's do just two more here. All right. This word has a blend. A blend is two letters that come together and they have two separate sounds, but you'll see them when you say the word quickly. It kind of sounds like they're getting blended together. F and L is a blend. You'll see F and L in words like flag or flake, and there's lots more, but just because they're blended together does not mean it makes one sound. So remember, we mark those with two separate lines. So let's read this. Fleb. Fleb. That's not a real word, remember. But you might see this in a bigger word, and it will help you be able to read it. One more here. Okay, how would I read that word? Again, we have another blend, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that. P-L-A-B, plob. All right, so good job reading those nonsense words. Now, we're going to do something very quickly here. I'm going to just draw a line here to kind of separate. This is going to be like a new section. I want you to practice putting this into action on your own. I'm going to read you some words. Some might be nonsense words, some might be real words. I want you to hear them, tap them out to yourself, and practice writing them. So the first word we're going to do, you can start writing right here, is the word yet. Yet. Y-et. As in, I am not finished getting ready yet. Okay, so I'm going to give you about 5 seconds there. All right, so let's see. To spell the word yet, you would tap it out. Y-et. I know Y says y. E says e. T. Yet. Pretty easy word, right? Let's try another one. How about shut? Shut. As in, please shut the door. How would I tap that out and then spell it? Let me give you a little bit of time to do that. Okay, so I know sh is digraph S-H. What vowel says If you said you are right. And then t, shut. Okay, how about the word path? Path, as in, please stay on the straight path. P-A-th, path. I'll give you a second to write that. You can add it over here. P-A-th. Good job. All right, we're going to do just a few more here. I want you to write the word quiz. Quiz. I'm going to see if you remember that buddy letter that says, those two buddy letters that say qu. Qu, I, z. Quiz. Okay, what are our buddy letters? Which two letters come together always to say qu? Q-U. Q-U says qu. Which vowel says I. And which letter says z? Z. Quiz. See, when you don't know how to spell a word, it's really easy to spell it the best you can by tapping out each sound you hear in the word and putting it with which letter you know makes that sound. Okay, let's do one nonsense word, and I'm going to give you another one with this buddy letter that we just practiced. Let's do quam. It's a little tricky. Quam. So what says qu? We know Q-U again says qu. And then am. So you're going to hear a, which it kind of changes when you have this M, qu, am. Okay, that's not a word that I've ever seen before, but that doesn't mean I can't read it. Okay? All right, guys, good job today. If you want to, you can take a picture of your notebook today and post it on Schoology, just so I can see what good work you guys are doing. And I will see you guys tomorrow.